Hey guys, it's Amy Thing to Plan, and today I am back with another planner therapy video. So you can see from the title of this video that what we're going to be doing today is putting together a visual schedule in a micro planner. And so this visual schedule will be helpful in a number of different instances. I wanted to go ahead and talk about like some of the ways where a visual schedule might be helpful to you before we dived into like putting together some examples. So first of all, a visual schedule could be used for children. I think this is the way that I'll be using mine. I think it's really important for children to be able to develop their own mental health care routine. And one of the ways that we could do that is to get children on a schedule. So children of any age can benefit from this, but in particular, children with autism or children who just really need a more structured schedule will very much benefit from this. Especially since right now we're moving into the summer months, it's really important for children, even in summer, to have a routine. And so developing a visual schedule with your children could be something that will be extremely helpful for you and for them, both just like in terms of having a plan in place for things to do, but also just from a mental health perspective. Like you can get your children to be more emotionally resilient by helping them, having them have a say so in what their schedule looks like, and also just being able to kind of stick to that plan. Okay, so number one, using this with children. Number two, one of the places where having a visual schedule can be very helpful is for you personally. I've talked about this in previous videos, but one of the things that we sometimes really struggle with is when we're going through a period of stress or anxiety, it becomes much more difficult for us to be able to come up with things to do to try to decompress. And so developing your own visual schedule can be something that can be helpful for you to develop as you go along. So that way you have these kind of cues, these visual reminders for things that you can do when you're having kind of a rough patch. Okay, and so those are the two main places where I can see this really being beneficial. It could be for you personally or for you working with your children to put together their own schedule. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what a visual schedule is. It really is what it sounds like. It is a schedule that is represented visually. So it's not just words on paper, but it's going to be something where you try to put a picture with the words. Again, this works well with children just because they are unable to read or they might not have the reading capacity to be able to sound out all the words. As long as you are putting a picture on there, it could be something that cues them in or like reminds them or triggers them like, oh, that's meant to be X activity. Okay, so it also is really helpful for us to be able to have words and visuals at the same time. So it like triggers or like activates more of our brain. So this is helpful for all of us. Now it is a schedule. And so one of the things that I will do in the video is just create a couple of cards with you. But I encourage you to try to lay this out for your entire schedule. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what our summer schedule is, the schedule that Sophia and I use. Sophia is my 4-year-old daughter. What we do is in the morning we wake up, and so we have breakfast very first thing in the morning. We will then move into what I call her independent play. She calls it alone time. So that's where she's playing in her room while I take care of like just tasks, like either checking email or just doing like adult things that I have to do just to stay on top of my life. And then we get together and we have what I call child-led play, but she calls star time because I indicate it with an actual star. Like visually, it's a star for her, and she knows during star time that she can do whatever she wants to. Like as long as it's within reason, not something super expensive, we can do it for her star time. So we will have star time. After that, we go into our lesson time. And so she does Bible lessons, some music lessons, piano lessons. Then she will do like basically an educational app of some sort where she is continuing her reading, her pre-reading, and her pre-math skills. So that way she's still advancing over the summer. And then after that, we're kind of going into the wind down period. So that way she is getting ready for her nap. So we are picking up, well, we eat lunch, we pick up, we read a story, a nap time story, and then she takes her nap. And then after nap, we just kind of follow the same routine. It's just that lesson times get replaced with errands. If there are any doctor's appointments or any grocery shopping or anything that we need to do outside of the house, that all kind of gets done. And now the way that this system has been working for me is that I can like basically take the before nap time and rotate it and have it be after nap time, and all the after nap time stuff can be converted or moved to before nap time. So we can do basically the whole setup where we're doing errands before her nap and then doing all of her lessons in the afternoon. So this is one of the reasons why a visual schedule is really helpful, because you're able to lay out these cards, and because they're individual cards, you can kind of move them around as you need to. So again, this is really helpful, again, for you, for your children, but for anyone who just wants to be able to see it on paper and be able to like have a card for it. Now, I'm calling them visual schedules here because that's the language that's used in autism, but if you have been in therapy and have worked with someone who is a DBT therapist, a dialectical behavior therapist, they might refer to this as diary cards. We do see in clinical work that a lot of times the visual schedule, it's not actually visual, it's like just a list of things that you can do as self-care activities. I would encourage you to consider doing this even if you're not going to do an actual literal schedule of your day. You might want to consider just putting together self-care options for yourself visually, so that way you can kind of see the things that will help you in moments of stress decompress. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I'm just going to develop a couple of cards. It's mostly going to be chatting, and so you've gotten the bulk of the information, but I'm going to show you my setup here. So this is a micro that I developed for Sophia. It has just like random papers that I cut down to size, and I have a couple of papers in here that are made out of cardstock, and I think cardstock it's like not super thick cardstock, but I think cardstock will work well just because it'll hold up a little bit better to like kind of be moved around quite a bit. And so what I'm going to do is actually put together just a couple of cards. I mentioned already that she has what I call child-led play, like she can decide what the activity is. She calls it star time. And so the reason we call it star time is because she already has a visual schedule, and her visual designation for her child-led playtime is a star. And so what I'm going to be doing here is actually putting together a couple of options for her to select during her star time, during her child-led play. Sometimes she just like forgets what she can do. And so I'm just going to develop for her a couple of cards here. And I went ahead and, again, trying to be more functional here, but I mean, a visual schedule, I'm not a great doodler, so you don't want me to draw it. So what I did was go ahead and pull some stickers. I pulled this sticker in particular, and what I'm going to do is just put a person with it. So I'm just like looking for a sticker here. I have this person right here. I'm just looking through random stickers. Really, it's not super important that this looks like perfect. It just has to be done, you know? So I'm pulling those stickers, and then I have this other sheet of like stickers. And so one of the things that she can choose to do for star time is like get her toes done. She loves having her toes painted. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to put just this right here, and then I'm just going to like kind of scatter these manicure pedicure things around here. And she knows those are nail polishes. She actually knows where her nail polish bottles are, and she'll run in there and grab it, and you know, so she's all set. She knows exactly what she needs to do. And what I'm doing here is just putting these stickers like right here and leaving enough room down here at the bottom, so that way I can write what I need it to say, so that way I'll know what it is. These stickers will not peel up. There we go. And I'm just trying to make it like just nice and fun, so that way she can use this card and know that this is one of her options. I will, in the next couple of days, go through and develop like a full set of task cards for her, like visual schedule cards, so that way she'll have her entire schedule. So I went ahead and did that. That's pretty much it. She'll know what that is. It's like nail polishes. And so I'll put right here toenails. Actually might not be able to fit toenails, so I'll just put toes, because she likes to get her toes painted. Okay, and so that's one of the options that she has. And then one of the other options that she has is to go shopping. She loves going to the dollar store, and so I have these like little shopping bags. And in fact, I'm going to try to find like, you know, like the little grocery shopping cart. I'm going to try to find one of those. Oops, let me see if I can get that. Right, I found like this sheet right here with a couple of shopping carts, and here's some right here. So I'll use a couple of these and a couple of these as well. And it already says shopping on there, so I might not need to write it, but I also want it to be fairly consistent just for my own sake. Let me see if I can find a couple of different types of shopping. Like here's another sheet of shopping carts. These were like little tiny ones from a mini book somewhere. And you don't have to like do this kind of like scatter of like all the different shopping carts, but I just want to get like a full page, you know. So I found another sheet right here of like household kind of dots. All right, let me just do maybe trying to find a color that works here. I'm gonna do this blue one and maybe a purple. Okay, and her favorite store to go to is the Dollar Tree, so I'm actually gonna try to fit Dollar Tree in here. Whenever she says shopping, she really just means Dollar Tree. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to fit it. All right, I'll try to write the E's really tiny. Okay, so you get the picture. All right, now again, as I finish these two, like basically what we're doing here is creating a visual schedule. For Sophia, she already has a visual schedule that we've been using for the summer so far that's been working out splendidly. Like I have loved it so far for her. And so now what I'm doing is putting together some options for her so she can decide for her specific time of child-led play, what are some of the things that she wants to do during that time. But if you're starting the system from the very beginning, it could be like if you're doing this from a self-care perspective, you like are just kind of like living your life and you're like, oh wait, you know, one of the things I could do for self-care is paint my toes. Just go ahead and build a card for that and put it into your book. And when it gets to a point where you're like thinking, okay, I need some self-care activities, I don't really know what to do, you can flip through this book and see that one of your options for self-care is painting your toenails or doing your nails or getting your hair done or whatever it is that you have. So just go through, and as you live your day-to-day life, think about what you could put into this book and try to build a nice book of ideas for yourself. And you could just flip through it once you get a full book so that way you can look at some of the things that you could do for yourself. That's how I'm doing it for Sophia, is to come up with options for her to be able to like choose in a specific period of time what she's going to do for that time. Now, if you're doing this at the broader level as a full-on visual schedule for like potentially like a child with autism, one of the things I encourage you to do is to be able to develop a list of cards for the entire day and then go ahead and work with your child to show them that this event, obviously it says toes here, but like let's just say that breakfast occurs first. So breakfast is the first thing, and then when you flip the page, the very next thing that's going to happen is going to be whatever day number or event number 2 or activity number 2 is, and it always goes in that order. And so it's a good way to teach them time and like transition between events. Like one of the things that children really struggle with is that transition. So being able to show them visually that event or activity 1 occurs at this point, and then activity 2 is the one that occurs right after. Just flip the card and you'll see it. And that can be very helpful to them, right? And so that is this video. I hope this is something that can be helpful for you to develop either your or both, you know, like you're working with children and you're developing your own self-care activities. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, guys, bye.